Once you start making videos for YouTube regularly, you get into a routine. And routines are good, but routines can make you comfortable, too comfortable. And that's how I feel. My office to me is comfortable. My chair's comfortable. I don't sleep in it, but I doze off every now and then, maybe not there. But I'm comfortable with my teleprompter and my two screens and the lighting, the background, everything that I've got. Pretty comfortable. And after a while it can get, I don't know, maybe a little predictable and even boring. So I decided to get out of the office and purposefully become uncomfortable. I've heard and I've read that you never really grow as a person unless you get out of your comfort zone, unless you force yourself to become uncomfortable. And it's the same for creative people and for people making videos. If all of your videos look exactly the same every time you put them out, there comes a point where is you really saying just the same thing over and over again? Getting out of your routine, for me, like recording every time I'm in the office or doing all of my videos in the office. When I get out of that routine, it breaks that routine loop. And that's a good thing because it forces me to do something different, think about things different. How do I set up just a little bit differently? And again, that can be a good thing. It forces me to think a little bit different. So I'm out here, and one of the things that I absolutely love, my Jeep. I like doing things in the Jeep. I go to the mountains in the Jeep. I go off-roading in my Jeep. I do a lot of things. But right now, I got to be honest with you, I'm just sitting in the driveway. It's the middle of winter here, and although it doesn't show it, there's no snow on the ground. We're having an unseasonably warm time here in Colorado. I'm still doing something different, something that's not quite comfortable, something where I had to think about how I'm going to mount my phone and what kind of B-roll I'm going to make, things like that. But it breaks the loop of routine and forces me to be a little more creative and a little more thoughtful about what I'm doing. And by doing so, I believe there's going to be a better outcome. I've mentioned before, and I'm going to mention it here. I have a throat condition. It makes it hard for me to talk for long periods of time, sometimes even short periods of time. And I'm out here, I've turned the Jeep off because I don't want the engine noise. But the cold air affects my voice and how much I can talk. But that's not an excuse for what I'm doing. I'm getting out of the loop, I'm getting out of the comfort, and I'm breaking that loop. Imperfect spaces make you more natural. And I'm hoping that's how this comes across, is that I'm a little more natural. I'm not using a teleprompter for even bullet points. I'm just looking at some notes and then turning to the camera and talking. But out here, I've got to worry about a car driving by. I actually had to stop for a minute or two because the postman pulled up and dropped off some mail and then kept on going. And there's now a car revving its engine in my background just a little bit. You may or may not be able to hear it. I'm not sure. Out here, I'm a little less of a presenter and a little more of a person. And I love working in the office and I love using the teleprompter for a few things. I know some people don't like teleprompters. I'm getting to a point where I'm starting to wean myself off of a teleprompter so that I can talk more naturally and I can look a little better into the camera. And that's kind of where I'm leaning at this point. It's just becoming a little more real. And that takes getting out of the office. That takes breaking the routine. A lot of tech can become a crutch and you become dependent upon it, dependent upon two screens, dependent upon a teleprompter, as it were, dependent upon a whole lot of different things. And I'm hoping that you will get the idea that you don't need any of those things that I just mentioned. You just need what I'm doing now: a phone, a microphone, and a place to talk and something to say. And by getting out of the office, I'm building my confidence. I'm building a new muscle, as it were, of doing things on a more natural basis like this. If you find yourself too dependent upon the tech, you might want to take a step back and re- rethink, reevaluate how you're making videos and change some things up, make a few things different. Now, I'm going to continue doing videos in my office, but more and more I'm going to do videos in my Jeep. And eventually, I'm going to take this Jeep on the road and do some videos on location in some different places. I live in an amazing state right now, and I'm really close to a lot of really beautiful mountain scenery. One of the trends that YouTube is beginning to embrace, and a lot of creators are embracing, is to be more natural and more authentic. One would say vulnerable. I want to learn to be less guarded and more real about what I'm doing, both on YouTube and in life. I want to come across as natural, and I hate to say that natural takes practice, because as soon as you come in front of a camera, you talk like you talk like you know everything. Uh, anybody that's in front of a camera acts differently. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Anybody that starts to realize they're in front of a camera, they don't act natural anymore, and it takes practice just to be yourself. It really does. That's a muscle that I'm starting to flex, that I'm starting to develop. There goes the postman. And when you pick different places out of your office, as well as in your office, but when you pick different places to record your videos, it's going to add flavor. It's going to add authenticity. If you had just one perfect place that you would record all of your videos in, and it is perfect, the lighting, the sound, everything is perfect, that's great. But it's also going to be boring after a while, after 50 videos with the exact same background and the exact same thing. Yes, you've got everything tuned in. And I like to think that my office, I've got a lot of things nicely tuned in. I want to get comfortable doing video in more than just my office. And to be honest with you, more than in just my Jeep. I know guys who walk around in the wilderness talking to their camera. They make some great videos. They have some great content. I know some people that also do great content, and they're in their office all the time. They've got things dialed in. There's nothing wrong with any of that. But you've got to change things up. You got to break the routine. And by breaking the routine, you grow. That's what I'm finding out about myself. I'm growing when I start doing some stuff like this and creating some B-roll and a few things. Even if I am just sitting in my driveway and pausing while the mailman goes by. I guess what I'm trying to say is comfort is good, but you want to become uncomfortable. Routine is good, but there's times when you have to break the routine. There are times when you are creating something that you actually have to be, well, creative. And that means thinking outside the box a little bit, doing things in different places, and just changing things up. And I hope you enjoy the difference. Me not being in my office all the time, and just slowly changing things up and moving things around. Now, one warning here: when you do this, things will be less than ideal. Things will be less than perfect, and that's okay. They will be far less than perfect. And I want to give you permission to be imperfect, because the less perfect you are, the more real you are. Because nobody's perfect with a perfect video all the time. It just doesn't happen. So if you like doing videos in your office and you like routine and you like being comfortable, I challenge you to get out of those modes. Go somewhere else. Record something from a different location, a different way, and do it imperfectly. You have my permission to do so. And that's a good thing. Routine is a good thing. Comfort is a good thing. Force yourself to be uncomfortable and break your routine. Oh, by the way, my name's Bill. I'm here at the FRNC. If you don't know, you'll have to ask. I'd love for you to subscribe if you feel so inclined, or like the video. Right now, I'm going to take my nice Jeep and put it back in the garage. My throat's getting a little raw with the cold air.